When I started training calisthenics, the first move I really saw that brought me into this was the planche. And it was one of the best things I've ever seen, right? Someone's legs are like off the ground. And to me, it looked cooler than a handstand, which it's a lot harder, so that would make sense. But at the same time, I was also kind of nervous. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to do it, and I was kind of doubting myself, right? And this was because I was taking steps that were too big for me at the time, or they were too big. Yeah. And that's the reason that I ended up quitting a total of 4 times during the first year. During that year, I would start off very motivated, and then I would slowly decrease motivation until I just stopped. And then next month, I would find the motivation again and do the same thing, right? And that happened 4 times. So really, taking a different path would have been a much better idea. I still could have ended with the planche, but the route there, I think, could have been a lot more efficient. And that's what I want to really explain in this video, because there's lots of better ways you can go about it and also unlock other skills that you wouldn't have done if you just trained the planche, right? So there's always one skill that brings people into calisthenics. For some, it could be the planche, like me, or it could be a push-up. It really depends on your starting point and what you think, what your biggest goal would be, right? Because for me, it was the planche, and it was such an unbelievable goal that I kind of knew I would be able to do it, but I was also super nervous about it. And I could already do around 15 push-ups, so obviously the push-ups, unlocking a push-up wouldn't have been a goal because I already achieved it. But for someone who's 250 pounds and has never lifted a weight in their life, a push-up could be a good goal. So it really all depends on your starting point, how far you want to take calisthenics, and other factors like that. So if you're not dumb like me, you won't pick a skill that takes as long as the planche did, which is around 2 years so far. I haven't completely done it yet, but I'm getting really close, and it's been 2 years. So if you're smart, you'd pick a skill that takes less time. And the reason for this, such as, let's say the handstand. Let's say it would take you about 5 months to get a pretty consistent handstand where you could say that you can do it. And the reason for this is, one, so you get the earlier wins, like earlier, right? Because for a planche, yes, there are progressions, but it's a lot harder to stay motivated when you know you haven't completed the skill yet, because it's been 2 years, and if I didn't start any other skills, then I would still technically have 0 skills unlocked in calisthenics. But if you start with something a lot easier, like a handstand, then you'll have those earlier, easier wins to build momentum on, and therefore you can get to the planche with a lot more skills unlocked, and you could build strength for the planche along the way, so you'd get it a lot faster. The other reason to get an earlier skill earlier, I guess, is because it increases your strength in other skills as well, right? So if you get handstand, right, in 5 months, then you didn't just get handstand strength, you're also building shoulder strength that could apply to the planche, right? Or it could apply to weights. Calisthenics skills are very, I forget the name, but you share a lot of muscles in it, so a lot of muscles work at the same time, which means a lot of skills use the same combinations of muscles, and so you're getting practice even when you're not practicing it. So yeah, that's really one thing. The other thing is, imagine you start training calisthenics at the same time I do, let's say 2 years ago, and I start training for the planche, right? That's the skill I want. I'm kind of dumb, and that's what I go for straight away. You're smart, and you do some research, and you learn to try to do the basics first. So you do around 5 months of handstand training before you even begin the planche. And after 5 months, I'm at a pretty good tuck planche, right? So you're technically weaker than me at the planche, but you are getting the base level of strength that you need to keep going. So let's say the first year goes by and you've unlocked the handstand push-up, you've unlocked the muscle up, and you're getting pretty far in some other pushing skill, right? I don't know what, but I'm still at the advanced tuck planche, and I'm using these references because I remember where I was at each point. So I was at the advanced tuck planche after a year with no other skills. You were at the handstand push-up, muscle up, straddle front lever, I don't know, whatever. And now you're going to start training for the planche because you have the base level of strength to go with it. And after 2 years, I've unlocked the full planche. I'm super happy until I look over and you've unlocked the full planche as well as all those other skills I mentioned plus more, right? And you might be wondering, what? Didn't it take you 2 years to get the planche? Yes, but if you have a base level of strength from the handstand push-ups, from the other things, other pushing skills like transfer very well to planche. So the more base level of strength you have beginning planche training, the faster the training itself will go. So not only do you have more skills that you've unlocked, you also unlocked the planche or the other skills a lot faster because you had that base level of strength, which I never had. And so that's really the smart way to go about it. You build up using the basics. I know you've heard that probably many times before, but it's really the best thing I can tell you. And you might be thinking, what, Amit, you started with the planche. That means you can do that as well. And I mean, you can, but I'm telling you what I did wrong. So wouldn't you want to avoid that? I'm telling you this as someone who can almost do a full planche. I can do a straddle for probably 12 seconds. And I really believe that you should start with the basics. Put away the ego, put away the impatience. Just trust what I'm saying. Go for the handstand stuff first. Go for other pushing skills before you go for the planche. Because you'll unlock so many more skills. You'll get a lot more practice doing other stuff, and it will translate. I promise you it will translate very well to the actual planche itself. I know you're just someone on the other side of this screen, but I do believe in you. If you play it smart, you can get a planche a lot faster than you'd think, right? It is really a really rewarding journey. I really hope you start, or if you have started, I really hope you continue with calisthenics. I believe in you. I believe anyone can learn a planche, or at least most people. I believe most people can learn planche. I think the biggest thing they have against them is their own mind, which I don't think is very healthy or useful at all. So if you're ready to take the challenge, if you're ready to do something monumental in your life, I really recommend you going through this calisthenics journey with me, right? I really hope you do well, because we need to grow calisthenics. It's something to be shared. It's not something to brag to other people you can do. It's something you share with others in the form of inspiration, information. Do it with a friend. Like, I really wish I'd gotten more people that I know onto calisthenics, because then I would have more people to train with. But I do have some good friends that train with me, and it makes it a lot better, right? So I know I kind of went on a tangent there, but start calisthenics. It's changed my life. I really think it could change yours as well. So thanks for watching.